All right. Well, today is just chat day, so come on by and say hi. Actually, I'm gonna take a drink first. I did go run already a little bit with my dog, and I'm not gonna. I'll probably pick up speed a couple of times. I'll probably put in some 6, 7s, 8s, 9s, a little bit during this route. But ultimately, I'm just gonna go easy. So AthleanX, their regen. Okay, I didn't look at Phase 4 regen. So let me preface what I'm about to say with the fact that I haven't looked at the Phase 4 regen days. Okay, so AthleanX regen are repetitive. I've already done 3 phases. You get, basically there's like 6, maybe 7 or 8. I don't think so. I think there's maybe 6 or 7 exercises for those entire set of regens that are fixed. In other words, you're going to get 3 of one of those in every regen. So I might mix them up a little bit, but they get old really fast. And they're set up in pretty much the same order. And then there's like 3 to 4 optionals if you're going to stay in the beast level. So they'll have like, there might be 6 or 8 optionals if you include the level 1s or level A or whatever it is, the easier stuff. Now, I always use the beast ones, which limits you down to 3 or 4, and then those alternate with like 2 more, so maybe there's 6. Some of them you can't do with indoor equipment, or you might not be able to do it all if you don't have the equipment, like box jumps. If you don't have a box that you can jump on, that's scratch. You can't do that one. If you, there's, let's see, sled push. I don't think there's very many people out there that have a sled. So luckily I was able to do the sled. At one gym when I was in Colorado last month, actually the month before last now. That's pretty cool. It's fun to use a sled. But very few gyms have those. And most, and even less people have them at home. So sleds are not really an option for most people. Okay, and then they have the box drill, which is basically you running a box, a big box. So you basically need a big open area. Maybe an indoor gym might have an indoor track that could work for the box drill. You run, one of the 30-yard lengths and then sideways. Basically, it's you run straight. Actually, I don't know if you run backwards. I think you might. I think it's run straight, run left, run backwards, run right. What that means is your legs do the crisscross going sideways, left and right, sprint forward, run backwards. Pretty sure. Now it's possible you could do alternating crisscrosses on the left and right. I haven't done it. I've only seen his video, and I only watched it once. I might be a little off, but basically, you need a big square running area that, again, a lot of people don't have. Not everybody's yard is big enough for that, so you have to go to a park. And how do you go to a park and do box drill alternated with machine stuff? It's like some of those are like shoulder rotations or whatever you call them, you need somewhere to connect the band. So even if you took a band out with you, where are you going to put that? You know, one of those fitness bands. You can't do that outside unless you have some place to hook it onto. So he has these things on there that just aren't convenient. So you have to basically scratch those as options. And then after that, you're just trying to make do with the 3 or 4 items you can do. So you pick one of those. I typically do like battle ropes, which again, I don't think more gyms have those. My gym has it. I've seen it in a few places. Not everybody has them. They take up a lot of space because, you know, while you're doing the battle rope, you're basically doing 20 yards of, 10 yards of rope. But that's a pretty big space people can't cross. So you have to have an area for that to sit. And not every gym has those either. Because I've been to gyms that don't have those. Anyway, there's some problems with some of those. And so you end up with a very repetitive set of exercises that after 2.5 months, I started this in June, just get kind of old. And I've done a lot of these workouts, but typically, like Insanity, I think was, I don't even know if it was 3 months long. Maybe it was. But it changes up. You know, you don't ever do a repeat week. Last month's Athlean-X, every week was the same. You did 4 weeks, same workouts every time. Yeah, you might be able to change up your weights a little bit as you get stronger, hopefully. But you do the regens in between. It's 4 weeks. Same thing. You didn't really mix it up at all. Now you change it in the phase. I think the first phase or second phase had more variety. I feel like it didn't do it for the same thing every day. I could be wrong though. I don't know, maybe I was just busy and didn't really notice a lot going on during that month. I was out of town and all that. But anyway, I haven't really seen this month. I've seen total body workout 1. I'm guessing there's at least 3. Might do all 3. Might be just like last phase. Same 3 workouts, 4 straight weeks. We'll see. But at least they changed from the previous month. So for a couple of weeks, they'll feel newish. And then we'll be back to repeating the 3rd week and the 4th week. So this is just my jogging pace. It is a little harder to talk. It's fast enough that you can feel me. You can hear me being winded. Do tell me if you can't hear me. I don't know. I'm just talking. I did test it down there. Checked my sound was feeding in. I don't know. Maybe I did something dumb like not turn on the mic. I don't know. Hey. Hey, Crossbow. Good to see you. Not Al. Good. All right, good. Thanks for chiming in, guys. Appreciate it. It's funny, I can see my text over there. It's big. It's about as easy to read as my phone here. My phone here's got it, but it's tinier, but right in front of me. It's my bouncing up and down that makes it harder to read. Same thing there. I can read it, but when I'm bouncing up and down, I am reading it from 10 yards away at least. So 30 feet. It's a long view. I just magnified it really big, so I can see it, but it's taking up a lot of space. Gave me something to put in that area on my screen. Every now and then I gotta up the speed. If I get tired, I'll drop the speed. I have to stop every now and take a drink. Kind of hard to run and drink out of these shaker bottles. Nah, Al. Is that like a Superman-ish? Ka-Al, Zor-Al. My one of my game names that I use on Orna, the RPG game, on the phone, is Ka-Al. K-A-E-L. So, if this is the first time you've seen me, and you haven't actually checked out my other streams, like say you just happen to stop by, I rarely do just one thing like this. But as I stated at the beginning of this, which you probably didn't see if you're watching live, my shoulder's kind of messed up. That's not injured. My right shoulder is just really sore. So is my left, for the most part. It's pretty sore too. But the right one kind of hurts. So I decided I'm going to avoid any shoulder work during the regen day today and see how I feel tomorrow. Noel. Oh, wait, isn't it N-O underscore E-L? Or is it N-O? Did I misread it? Nope. Was N-O-E-L taken? Well, I'm sure Noel was N-O underscore E-L. I don't know. Well, I'm all out of L's. No L's left. So, if it was Kryptonian, would no L mean I'm not related to any of the House of L? No L in me. I have no L blood. Gives me something to talk about. Sorry. Don't always have workout related stuff to talk about. You're just cruising along, trying to get your workout in. Actually, yeah, the challenge workout I did on Sunday, which was the AthleanX Phase 3 challenge, which, by the way, I think I did pretty good. I didn't quite max it out. But I did pretty good. I almost completed 10 out of 12. It's not too bad. It had a lot of jump rope and a lot of jumping with the squat jumps. And my feet are actually kind of sore. The bottom of my foot, that hopping action, which has you leaving, you push off with the ball of your foot, land on the ball of your foot. You come down to your heels for the squat, but when you jump up, use the calves and your foot. That plus jumping rope is pretty much all, ball, foot, and calves. Excellent for your lower legs. But if you don't do a ton of it, oh, yeah, I guess so, Michael. Mike L. Gabriel. That's not Mike L though, no, that's like Mikal or Mikal. Nathaniel and Gabriel, yeah, those guys are in the same grouping. I don't know about Mikael. I don't know if is that an angel as well? Gabriel is. Guess they could just be family members, or they could just be names, right? I mean, they're all names, just not really. I don't think so. I don't think Mikael is. I think Gabrielle and Nathaniel might be same family. I don't know about Mikael. Possibly. But they're not related to the Al family because I don't think, I think Al is their last name. So that'd be more like Nathani Al and Gabriel Al and Mike or Mick Al. The House of Al, that's their last name. So Cal Al, for one thing, it's Cal Al, not Kyle. I use Kyle because I want to be different. K-A-E-L. Cal Al is Superman, of course. But again, it's K-A-L-E-L. Well, I know who Michael is. But what you wrote was Mikael. M-I-K-E-L. So that's Mikael, I was gonna say Mikael's Navy, but that's actually M-C-H-A-L-E, so a totally different thing. But Mikael is it's probably a derivative of Michael, just a variation. But I also don't think Mikael is technically English. It's probably like a Spanish name or Middle Eastern. Mikael. Might even be a Norwegian variation of Michael. But yeah, Michael is an angel, it's true. So is Gabriel. And I don't know about Nathaniel. But I'm pretty sure, I think Nathaniel is in the Bible, but I don't know if he's an angel. Can't remember for sure. That name sounds very familiar. Feels like a biblical name. It even feels kind of like an angelic name, right? Has that same basic sound. I know there's definitely a Nathan in the Bible. Nathaniel was? Was he one of his apostles? Huh. I guess I don't really know all 12 of their names. Of course, you know all the main ones. I mean, I can't remember them all. I think I probably remember most of them, but not all 12. Shoot. Let's see. Oh, obviously there's John, Luke, Matthew, Judas, and John. Huh. Oh, you know your Bible pretty good. That's pretty good. Here's my thing. I think maybe the 3 times that I've listened to the Bible all the way through, the key word there is listen. I don't read the Bible much because I don't make much. I'm terrible at reading. I mean, I know how to read fine. It's making time for it that I'm terrible at. So, but I run a lot, and a lot of times I'll listen to the Bible when I'm going to bed. Like I'll kind of turn it on and for 20 minutes while I'm relaxing and going to sleep. But so those are the times when I'm listening to books. So I used to, when I'm running, like training for a marathon or whatever, usually I'm listening to fantasy, sci-fi, whatever, but a lot of times I would throw in, I listen to the Bible for an hour, half hour, whatever. Because long distance running is not about speed, so I'm not trying to not listening to fast-paced stuff, just giving myself something to listen to and absorb and enjoy during the monotonous parts of running. Oh, he wasn't one of the 12 apostles. No, there's a number of those, right? There's plenty that followers that came just after Christ passed away that, were major followers of Christ. Passed away, rose, came back, ascended. Some were not even followers of him when he was actually still on earth, right? Saul was, who changed his name once God pulled him aside. Said, why are you doing this to me? That's a long one. Can't quite read it. Oh yeah, well, there's definitely, yes, those are most definitely important verses. And, John 3:16, there's definitely some majorly, significantly important verses to be aware of in the Bible. If you're gonna, if you're gonna be a follower of Christ, of course. Many people these days choose not to be. In which case, what can you say? All you can do is let that be a bother. A worry of God's. Love everyone the same. And let God just determine how he's gonna deal with non-believers. Pretty much tells you. But I don't think it's as clear cut as we all think it is. There are certain things I've read and learned from the Bible that give me the impression that things aren't what we necessarily think they are. Some things. There's a pastor who I've listened to a few times who I really like because he really goes deep into the Bible and reads only from the Bible. His name is Doug Batchelor. He does the Amazing Facts. Well, he used to do the Amazing Facts broadcast along with the guy who came before him. He still owns Amazing Facts, the website. I think that's where you can find all his stuff. But I really like the way he digs deep into that stuff. But even amongst Christians, there's going to be a lot of debate as to, how things are going to go at the end. So I try not to dwell on it too much. Just stay focused. Move forward. And let God handle the rest. Keep your faith. Stay focused. Always strive to improve. be more like God. You'll never be like him. So there's always they're never going to reach the bar. So you can never be too good or too on target. We all fail. We all sin. So all you can do is keep working towards it. Keep your eye on the ball. Anyway, here we are talking about something, again, totally unrelated to exercise. But hey, I'm halfway through my goal distance of 2.5. So I'm a 5. I'm at 2.7 or 2.65. So hey, it's not too bad. In case you're curious, current pace is 6.4. Been going 6.4 for a while. Let's take it to 8 until I get to 2.8. It's like 0.12, which is about 100 yards or so. Oh yeah? You'll have to tell me what that one is. Like I said, I don't know the verse numbers of most verses because I listen. And when listening to the Bible, you also don't know where you're at in the Bible. They don't recite the verses. They'll recite the chapter. So I might go, well, I know the book. I know what chapter I'm in. Do they even do the chapter? They might not even do the chapter. I think I might want to recite the book again. So, yeah, I can't really connect them. It'd be like somebody goes, hey, verse 22, 36, or 40, for example. And then they'll read it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard that before. Because I have. I've already heard all the verses. I just don't know where they are, what they are. And when I'm listening, I may think through it and contemplate it a bit, if it sticks in my mind. It's like one of the ones I use when I'm working out is, through God all things are possible, which I think is a proverb or a song or something. I think it's a proverb. But I don't know which one. I had it posted on my desktop for a long time. But it's the one I think about a lot when I'm struggling, in my day-to-day, both challenges while exercising, like when I go to a marathon and I have an injury that's killing me, causing me pain. I'll just recite that one in my head for as long as it takes. In one case, it was for the entire length of a marathon almost, because I had an Achilles ankle tear, minor, that could have been major because I shouldn't have been running the marathon. I did it before the run. I had a bump on my Achilles tendon, and I knew if I went to go see the doctor, he'd say, nope, you're done. And that was my first ever marathon. So I go, no, I'll go see the doctor after the marathon. So I just kind of figured out where the pain, what I could do running-wise that did not hurt. And I would live by the mantra, if it doesn't hurt, or if it hurts, don't do it. Which I was going, okay, it doesn't hurt, I can do it. But when it was getting tight and stiff after 10, 11, 12 miles, I was like, oh. So basically, in order to get through that marathon, I had to run my strides are like half length, literally taking half steps, because anything bigger would stretch that tendon and it hurt like a son of a beep. So it's basically taking tiny steps. So think about it. Say there's 35,000 steps in a marathon, or 30,000, whatever you call it. I think 10 miles is, or 10,000 steps is 5 miles. So let's see. I have 50,000 steps at least for a marathon. So you cut your steps in half, cut your stride length in half. Now I'm taking upwards of 100,000 steps. You can imagine how tired I was. But that plus the help of through God, things are possible. Through God, all things are possible. I just keep saying that to myself, especially during the last 7-8 miles. I think I can do this. Through God, all things are possible. But I'll tell you what, I got through it, finished the marathon. Terrible time, took me like 4 hours and, I don't know, 20 minutes, 4 hours and 40 minutes, I don't know, something really long. My first ever marathon though, so I can't complain too much. And so part of that probably just, I wasn't that fit. So, fit enough to get through it though. And, but that night, couldn't walk. My foot was so stiff, any movement in my foot hurt. Like that following week, I went to go see the doctor, who looked at it. He goes, "You did what this weekend? With that?" I said, "That's the response. That response is the reason I didn't come see you before." He says, "Yeah, you could have really done work. You could have tore it completely, and you'd have been done for a lot longer than the 8 to 12 weeks I'm telling you to stop now." Put me in a boot, and I was done for a while with running. But I made it through my marathon. Woohoo! And in about 8-9 weeks, not 12, I started running again. Started training. Because I wanted to do another marathon and get a better time. I'm going to be training on the next one. Sorry to hear that, man. That's your feet. I've been told that I have arthritis in my shoulder and my elbows and my knees. But, and then he said, "You're probably not going to be able to do this, or this is going to hurt forever and ever." I don't know. I think arthritis is a go-to excuse for doctors. You have pain in a joint, it's arthritis. Sometimes it might be arthritis. But they did x-rays and stuff. They said, "See this?" And I'm like, "Compared to the other leg?" And I'm like, yeah? They go, "Well, see, that's arthritis." I'm going, okay. Well, I don't see much difference between the two. That one's arthritis, that one's not. And I'm like, okay. And I don't have it in the other one? Oh, no. I'm like, okay. I gotta get a drink. Let's go to a walk pace for a minute. So, what I often do with, I just change up my exercise. I believe there's always a way to do stuff. For example, I was about, 30 something, when the doctor told me I had arthritis in my knee that was hurting really bad because I was running. I had just started running. My first marathon I ran in regular shoes. I use Vibrams now. And my knee hurt really bad. And he said, "It's probably some of your IT band, but it looks like you have arthritis in that knee. You're probably going to have to cut back on the running." I was like, "Nah, I got some marathons to run, things to do." I did some research, learned about using zero elevation shoes like Vibrams, the 5-finger shoes, toes. Vibram actually makes soles for other shoes that don't have the toes, but the same kind of thing. Zero elevation, zero drop. So if you hear those two terms, zero drop means, if you don't know already, means the elevation between your toe and your heel is the same. You don't have that really thick heel that everybody out there in the world makes their shoes do now. We have these super padded shoes now. Take away all the pain and discomfort because it's a 2-inch heel that just absorbs all the impact. Bad. I'm telling you right now, don't believe them. They're just doing that to sell you shoes. So the best way to run, in fact, the only reason it's not recommended, but even by barefoot runners a lot of times, because people's feet are too soft. You run barefoot, you damage your feet. You run on sidewalks and streets because we don't have regular ground around here. And you run on sticks and rocks and other crap, and your feet are just soft. They have no muscle in them because they're not used to it. And you end up damaging, just the foot gets hurt. But that's not the reason not to go barefoot. The reason you go barefoot is to build those muscles. Use your calves. Take your knees and hips out of the exercise. Knees and hips should not be getting sore while running. The reason they do is because people run heel toe. And if you have really good padded shoes, you might be able to absorb some of that impact and not cause as much pain. It's the same effect though. You hit on the solid part of your foot. You hit your heel on the ground, there's nothing catching the power, the weight of your body. So all it does is go bone, which is your heel, to shin bone, to knee bone, to hip bone, or to thigh bone to hip bone. None of those are official words or doctor doctor words, but the same thing. And that constant impact beats the snot out of your cartilage and causes pain and even arthritis because that cartilage is getting wrecked. Now, start running correctly using a midsole strike, but you can't really do with the super thick sole shoes that are in back. So you want to go with at least a zero drop shoe. Zero drop shoe at least makes the toe and the heel flat, and there's no variation. So if you can run, what do you call it, the midsole strike, which is just learning to run correctly, which means a lot of times leading with your knees. You want to run correctly. You lead with your knee, and it makes it a lot easier to come down on your midsole. I don't want to come on your toes because that's a lot of work on your calves. But a lot of times what happens is as you start learning how to run correctly, like for me, my heel barely touches the ground. I strike with my midsole, and by the time my heel's touching the ground, I'm already pushing off to the next step. Now when I first started, I'd hit with my midsole, my heel would smack the ground. And I had to learn how not to let that happen, which meant really engaging my calves. And my calves got crazy sore. Oh, just brutally sore during the first few weeks of exercise. And ultimately, in time, it took weeks, months. That's why you don't start running long distances in Vibrams. I'm sorry, I'm not even reading text. Yeah, see, a lot of times shin pain comes from heel striking, and that's because there's a lot of vibration and impact on that bone, and that's why you have that bone deterioration. That bone is not used to that impact. Think about taking a piece of wood and smacking it on something hard. Assuming your arms don't fall apart in time, you keep smacking that piece of wood on that hard surface. Think of the piece of wood as a bone in your body. And all you do is keep hitting it. That stick, or whatever you're hitting, will start to fray. It'll just start to, they'll start to get little cracks and little impact pains and little impact lines, and they'll start to come apart. That's your shin. So If you're constantly hitting something hard and that shin is taking all that vibration of impact, shin starts to fray, starts to get damaged. And the same goes for your knees and your ankles and your hips. You keep smacking the bones together, even with that cartilage padding, that cartilage starts to break down because it's constantly coming together at the joints. Now take, for example, you shocks, right? Shocks in a car. Now, if you didn't have shocks in your car would start falling apart really fast if all they were was like solid bars. Those wheels would hit potholes, bam, pothole, bam, and that impact point would start tearing the car apart. Would start falling apart. Uh, the metal framing would start to come apart. But the shocks, which are your muscles, you start utilizing those muscles as shocks like they're supposed to be. Your calves, the bottom of your feet all have muscles in them. You start building those up, giving yourself some better shock absorbers. Now all of a sudden, there's not as much impact. Your joints aren't smacking into each other. Your bones aren't getting that vibration shock that starts to make them fray, which is a shin splint. And all that starts to go away because now you've got muscles doing that work. They're like, okay, we're not going to let the solid parts of the body make impact with each other as much. We're going to reduce it. Once I started learning how to run in Vibrams, my body got better at it and I stopped hitting the ground so hard. My knee pain, hip pain all went away. I rarely ever have knee and hip pain anymore. And I still run a lot. I mean, I still will run 10 to 15 miles on occasion. I still run frequently. And whatever arthritis I have doesn't bother me. I mean, maybe it never got as severe. And I'm not saying that yours isn't super, debilitating. And I'm not knocking that because I don't know the extent. But for me, when I was told I had it, switching to Vibrams and learning how to use them correctly. And I say that because a lot of people make the mistake of going, oh, this is going to fix my body. I can go run a half marathon using these instead. And then they get hurt. They injure the bones in their feet. They injure the bones in their legs and knees because their body can't absorb the impact yet. They haven't built the muscles up. You keep wearing these shoes that take away all the need to use the muscles in your feet and the muscles in your calves and your quads during a run because they're absorbing all the impact, or they're trying to, which, by the way, they're failing because as your shoes wear out, because those shoes with the big, thick pads on the back, they're only good for a couple hundred miles at most. And most people wear their shoes long past their due date. And that absorbing gets squished down and becomes less and less. And then once you start running and you hit that heel again, you're just getting that impact. Most people don't replace their shoes often enough. Now, if you're using Vibrams, all they have is basically the sole is soft enough that it's flexible. But beyond that, it's tough. It's a tough piece of rubber is really all it is. And you can feel the ground. You can feel the rocks. If you walk on a pony rock, you're going to feel it. It's not a pleasant feeling. But as you get stronger, your feet get tougher. It's not too major. I mean, you'll usually adjust. Your body will learn to adjust to the things it's landing on. And you learn to run kind of lighter using those heels so that when you hit something awkward, you can just quickly switch to the other foot. You just learn to use the muscles in your body to do what they're supposed to do, which is help your bones and everything support you and not be your exercise. So there you go. There's the story on why it's better to have the right equipment and learn to use it than to let Nike and Adidas and Reebok tell you, hey, you need shoes with super thick padding and ultra thick heels so you don't feel any pain. Don't do it, man. It's not good. You don't need them. People have survived for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years wearing sandals. You don't have to wear these thick $100 tennis shoes, but that's those companies getting you to say, if your body gets reliant on those kind of shoes and then they try to wear barefoot, oh, I can't do that because my foot hurts or my knees hurt and I can't walk in those shoes. I can't walk in barefoot or whatever. I have to wear these super doctor recommended soles and tennis shoes. It's like you might have to wear them until you learn how to strengthen your feet up. So I don't think I think there's a lot of things people can do, even with arthritis, maybe not to the extent of running a marathon. Once they strengthen the muscles in their body enough that those impact points don't hurt. You learn to walk midsole and don't let your soles hit all the time. Then you're not going to be impacting those joints as much, which will allow you a lot more mobility and ultimately less pain. What do they call that? When you wake up and your foot hurts when you wake up. I forgot what that's called. I don't know. People get special soles for their shoes and stuff because they think that's going to fix it. I didn't even drink. I feel that I haven't drank. Got to 4 miles in 45 minutes and I'm over 9. Still got a mile to go. Talking too much, man. Yeah, I've probably run a good 5 or 6 full marathons and probably about 8 or 9 half marathons. Haven't run one in a while though. It's been a couple years, probably pre-COVID since I last ran anything. I think the last half marathon I ran was Utah Potato Road or something like that. All right, let's run a little bit more. I got 3/4 of a mile to go. Let's finish the 5 like I said I would. So obviously I'm going more than 45 minutes. This is too slow. Let's do at least a 7.2. I'm telling you right now, let me always preface what I say. This is experience talking. I am not a trained professional. I have not gone to doctor, medical school, physical trainer school. What I have done is read a lot, go to actually implement things that I believed in, and I've been working out for 30 years plus, more than 30 years, and consistently. And I also don't take what the doctor says. Well, I'd say put it this way. I take what the doctor tells me with a grain of salt. I hear what they say, and I understand if what they're saying is the end all be all. Because not every doctor says the same thing. This is why you go to a family doctor first. They send you to a specialist. And even some specialists will vary in their beliefs or what they tell you. Because, I hate to say it, but in many cases, and this is why doctors don't always know what's going on in your body, it's because it's not an exact science. It's definitely a science, and there are things that are very clear cut. When your appendix fails, they can usually figure that out really quick. That's pretty clear cut. But a lot of other times you get these illnesses and things, and the symptoms vary widely because it's not clear cut, it's not exact. And doctors have to guess, and they're going by the commonality. So the first thing they treat you for is the cheapest, easiest solution. Cheapest, easiest, most common solution. So it's part of the problem with, COVID when it first started, right? Because nobody knew what it was, or what exactly it was, how to deal with it. So they went with treat the symptoms best they could. Unfortunately, what they knew about treating those symptoms didn't work for a long time because they didn't know enough. They slowly figured things out, mostly the COVID just got weaker over time because of vaccines and immunities and just changing its form. But still. So you hear me running and you hear one impact per foot. When I first started running in Vibrams, there was always 2 impacts. You'd hear me hit midsole, and then you'd hear my heel hit. Now granted, I was catching myself, but I couldn't do it for very long, and it still hurt after a while. And that's where you can get hurt if you try to go too long. That's where you can injure yourself. Create shin splints even faster with Vibrams, because the body's not yet able to do what it's supposed to be doing. So you gotta start off slow. You might only run a half mile a day, or you might just walk around for a week or two, getting used to the shoes, learning how to walk. All right, I got less than a quarter mile to go. I'm doing 7.5. I'm gonna crank it up to 8 and finish this off. Now, this is a pretty decent pace, but all that walking gave me a lot of energy back. Felt pretty good. I got about a little over 100 yards to go. I'm gonna take it to, let's take it to about a 1/10 of a mile to go. Almost there. All right, let's go to 9.5 for the last 0.05. Just occurred to me, I never turned on my watch. I turned it on for my walk, for my run with my dog. Hey, Imagine Joy, how you doing? Just caught me, man. I'm about to sign off, actually. I was only gonna do 5 miles, but I talked a really long time. So I was only gonna do 45 minutes. Ended up going 53, almost 55 minutes. And I'm supposed to be at work. Yeah, I need to be at work for my meeting, but now I have to work later because I'm starting a little later. But a lot of people ask me my age. What do you think my age is? Imagine Joy probably knows my age because I've said it on here a couple times. So, unfortunately, I'll probably log that manually in my watch, but unfortunately, I missed out on all the metrics the watch would normally give me. But that's right, I'll log it just to have it. And another drink. Yes. I hope you're being funny. I don't know his age, but I'll guess it's around 75. It's like, no. Now see, that's not bad. Now did you guess that range? I mean, it is 10-year range you gave there. 20 years if you count the whole S. But are you guessing that based on the fact that I said I've been working out for 30 years? Or are you actually saying, oh, look, 40s and 50s? Because, 30 years is kind of a hint. So, but ultimately you're close. Yes, I'm in my 50s. I'm 52. And I'm a sloppy drinker while I walk. Still pretty good. So that was my warm-up day, or my regen day. That's all I did. No running, or no upper body stuff at all. No shoulders at all. Shoulder feels okay now because I got the blood pumping through it. Loosened up slightly from the moving back and forth. This again. Yep, I think it is the same. I also have Striving to be Superman is also on my YouTube page. That's where I save my, when I do save these workouts and send them over to YouTube just to chat with, just to have them over there and try to build up my YouTube following, which I apparently need a ton because I only got like 11 subscribers over there. So it's Striving to be Superman there as well. So if you want to follow those, and then you can see any videos from the past that I've only consistently been putting up past videos in the last couple months, and like if I have one that's really broken, like my video sound was broken or camera work was messed up, or I don't copy those over, so they're a little less. There's less over there. I don't edit them, or at least I very rarely do. In which case, you get basically the same thing. So, but anyway, that's 5.145 miles according to my treadmill, done in 55 minutes, which is really slow. But I got a chance to talk. We talked a little bit of a little bit of the Bible, and a little bit about my feelings and opinions on how running mechanics work and what shoes you could wear, should wear. But again, I am not a doctor. I am not a trained physical therapist. Do not take my word for law, unless you just value experience, and that's what I've got. Lots of experience. I don't tell people to do things unless I've done it and I truly believe it worked for me. And and again, things that work for me might not work for other people. It all comes down to how each person goes about their day. Anyway, it is 9:15. It's just getting really late for me. Luckily, I'm at home, so I could just log on to work and find time later to go take my shower and stuff. So, thanks for stopping by, everybody. Senile. Everybody who gets over 50 starts saying, "Oh, my memory's going out the door." You know what? And then I always think back and go, you know what? When I was 20-some, there were times when I'd walk into another room and go, "Okay, what did I come back here for? What was that again? Why'd I go? Why'd I do this?" So I don't know. Yes, there's definitely signs that make that a lot more common and stuff like that, and you start getting a little worried. My biggest thing is words. It's like I'll remember a lot of things, but it's like sometimes I'll just be talking, and all of a sudden there's this word, and I'm uh, like, why can't I remember that word? That's my like, and then I'll say it to my wife, I go, "You know what word I'm thinking of?" And she'll look at me and go, "Don't do that to me. I can't remember it now either." It's like put someone on the spot. Suddenly they're like, don't know. It's like, oh, good. It's not only me. So, of course, she's a year older than me, so I hope that's not it. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Until next time. Well, I have to walk over to my computer to turn this off, but till next time, stay fit, stay healthy. Goodbye.